So at this point, you should have finished reading part 1 of To Kill a Mockingbird. And today you're going to be doing some group work with everything that we have encountered in part 1. It is such a complex novel. In part 1, we get all of these different stories that are told through Scout's eyes, kind of woven together. And what you're going to do today in your groups is pick apart all of the important aspects of part 1. In part 1, we get a ton of really significant character development, particularly for Scout, Jem, and Atticus. They are at the center of part 1 and at the center of our narrative. However, when we are thinking about characters, I don't want you just to think about the characters in terms of Scout, Jem, and Atticus. I want you to kind of branch out, and I want you to think about the town of Maycomb as its own character. I think that we really need to break down and analyze the town of Maycomb and look at it as Maycomb is its own entity. It is its own character, and it is a character that is just as important and essential as all of the other characters that we encounter in this novel. So what you guys are going to be doing today is taking a look at all of the different facets, all the different characteristics that make up Maycomb. So we are going to divide Maycomb into these 6 different kind of subsets. We're going to take a look at the people that make up this town. We're going to look at the societal expectations that the people of this town hold for one another. We are going to take a look at the education system. We are going to take a look at the class system. We are going to take a look at how the people of this town have varying views of race. And we are also going to take a look at the preconceived ideas and notions that the people of Maycomb hold for one another. I want you guys to think of Maycomb as a person, and all of these 6 categories that we are exploring are all of the different facets of like a person or character's personality. Because Maycomb is not just the setting, but it is the driving force behind our narrative. So each of you have been assigned a different group, and you can find your groups on Canvas. And each group is going to walk through one of the sections that I have just mentioned. So with my group 1, you're going to be working with focusing on the people of Maycomb, and you're going to be focusing particularly on Jem and Atticus. My group 2, you're going to be focusing on the same thing, but for Scout and Dill. My group 3, you're going to be doing, again, the same thing, but for Miss Caroline, the Ewell family, and Aunt Alexandra. My group 4, you are going to be, again, focusing on the people, but you're going to be focusing on the Cunninghams, particularly Walter Cunningham, Miss Maudie, and Mrs. DeBose. My group 5, you're going to be focusing on the education system in Maycomb. Group 6, you are going to be focusing on the class system. Group 7, you're going to be focusing on the first part of preconceived ideas and notions that characters have of each other, and you're going to specifically be focusing on Dill, Walter, and the Ewells. My group 8, you're going to be focusing on preconceived ideas and notions for Miss Maudie, Boo Radley, and Mrs. DeBose. My group 9, you're going to be focusing on societal expectations. And my last group, group 10, you are going to be focusing on race and how it plays a role in Maycomb. So those are all of the different things that we are going to be working on this week. This assignment is not something that you can complete all in one day. So you guys are going to have the entire week to work with your groups and kind of dissect these questions and really think about how Maycomb is its own character and how all of these different attributes play an essential role within our narrative. Before I turn you guys over to your work today, I wanted to leave you with this particular quote from part 1, and I want you to think about it in your reading going forward. It says, "I'd rather you shoot at tin cans in the backyard, but I know you'll go after birds. Shoot all the blue jays you want. if you can hit at him. But remember, it's a sin to kill a mockingbird. That was the only time I've ever heard Atticus say it was a sin to do anything. I asked Miss Maudie about it. Your father's right, she said. Mockingbirds don't do one thing but make music for us to enjoy. They don't eat up people's gardens. They don't nest in corn cribs. They don't do one thing but sing their hearts out for us. That's why it's a sin to kill a mockingbird. It's the first time in the novel where we get a reference to our title, To Kill a Mockingbird. And once we go into part 2, which you guys are going to start reading for next week, I really want you to think about that quote that I just read to you, and I want you to think about how it relates to the title. And as we read part 2, I want you to think about who is our mockingbird.